Hi everyone, this is Lifelane and I welcome you in my creative lab where I make different types of handmade and DIY for dolls and humans. So if you like this kind of things, stay tuned. This is second part of the video where I will continue hand sewing these jeans for my smart doll. The previous part ended up with the first top stitch in the double side seam. Before I may proceed with the second top stitch in the double side seam, I need to install rivets, or better to say their imitations, on the front pockets. I don't really remember how these metallic half spheres sharp ends are called, so you can leave the name in the comments, but I'm trying my best here with my round pliers to close these sharp ends inside of the fabric, and the result looks awesome. After the rivets are on their places, I may continue sewing the second part of the double stitch of the side seam. This will take some time, so I will speed up the process for you. This is how the finished side seam looks like from front and inside. In previous part I started to work with fly by overlocking it. And laying the top stitch for the zipper fly. So before sewing jeans together, I need to finish front fly. Front fly is the hardest part of the jean, as I had to sew it over and over again before I achieved the shape of the front fly that I liked. At some point I had to lay down the next top stitch before I had the previous undone, just to have it as a marker for the next top stitch. And finally, the first part of the double stitch of the front fly is ready. So the second stitch in the double stitch will be much easier to accomplish. Even though I had to undo it several times before front fly is ready. And it's finally finished. Another tricky part is to attach together parts of the fly. That's why I'm matching and pinning the most crucial parts. After that, I check if everything on their places. And I'm attaching 2 front parts with running stitch. And check if the seam is accurate enough. After that, I'm overlocking the seam allowances. I'm matching the seams on the back and pinning them together. And attaching back parts with seat seam. While sewing, from time to time I'm checking my own jeans for more accurate details. Checking the seams when they are spread is vital. Going backwards with running stitch. And overlocking seat seam allowances. Here comes the longest seam in the jeans, instep seam. Here are lots of details that needs to be matched before sewing, like bottom leg, washed edges of the seam, the knee, top, bottom and middle parts from front and back. Also, I need to stretch the fabric a bit and pin its middle, because as I mentioned in part 1, the front and back details of the jeans didn't match in length. So pinning the middle of details will ease the sewing process for me further. As I mentioned before, I'm not entirely sure that I didn't mess up with the side and instep seams of the jeans, because their lengths didn't match, and that's strange for me, but it is as it is, so I'm just fixing problem while sewing. Here's how pinned instep seam looks like. To measure the length of the thread, I fold it in 4 and apply it to the jeans, and laying the inseam starting from seat seam. And when everything is attached, I'm checking if things are in places and if the widths of the pockets are matching. and making the first try on. I think the bottom leg could be a bit thinner. It's too wide. I'm laying top stitch in panel seam, starting with fly front. And finishing in the sit seam. There are numerous layers of denim in this seam, so pliers are very handy. I'm going backwards with the second part of a double stitch with blue thread. I'm using thread to check from time to time if I lay down the straight seam and undone the stitches if something went wrong. The seat seam is ready, and it's time for the belt. I'm starting with belt loops by cutting 5 pieces of them and stitching them separately to secure the seams. At first I'm overlocking the seam allowance, which will be outside of the belt loop, and then I'm laying 2 straight lines of backward seams on top. When belt loops are ready, I'm pinning the belt detail, and honestly at this point I made a big mistake because I used white belt detail to fold it then in two, that I would achieve the belt that would look like in real jeans, but it caused the numerous layers of denim in belt area, and also I violated patterns and the shape of the belt was different. As a result, this all doesn't look as good as I would want it. I think better would be using pink cotton material as lining for the belt, and also it will prevent staining. Okay, while I'm sewing the belt, I'm trying to install belt loops in places that there's no other seams, except for this loop in the middle of the back. After attaching the belt detail, I am checking if all the belt loops are in their positions and cutting out all the extra fabrics and corners of seam allowances. Here I'm marking and installing the imitation of the button on the jeans. It's a bit tricky, so it will take me a while. And I'm securing the rivet in the place with armor thread, just to be sure it will stay there. I'm attaching the belt lining with invisible stitch. And then I'm laying down the top stitch around the belt, securing the belt loops while I'm sewing it. This how the jeans look from inside. The belt is closing with a hook and a loop. And the very last step is to stitch bottom leg. I'm going to fold the seam allowance twice to hide its edge inside the seam. But before that, I'm cutting corners in the seams. And secure the first fold with a basting stitch. After that, I'm folding once again. And stitching it with backward stitch. And that's it, my jeans are ready. Despite all the mistakes, I really love how they sit on my smart doll. Thanks for watching and bye bye!